Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone is well. I am just about to track some synths. So I'm working on a track, new EP, track number 6. I've sketched everything out using plugins, and I'm now about to track some live synths. So I thought I'd document the process as a way of like, this is, not really sort of instructional video or tutorial. Just this is my workflow. Doesn't necessarily need to be your workflow, but this is working for me. Might be interesting to some folks. Now we're tracking Volca Keys, and indeed this is the sound of the latest EP, Volca Keys, the SH01A, so an SH101 essentially, but a modern take on that from the boutique range. There's some neutron that's sketched in, which I'm going to use in paraphonic mode, and that's always a surprise what comes out of the neutron. It's like, okay, so yeah, we'll give it a go with the neutron, and I'll be also using my modular synth here, just for a little mono line. Oh, hello. That's what we're doing. So I'll just sort of break down each step. The first thing to say is that if you're using a Volca Keys, do give it like 5 minutes to warm up. I know it turns on, and after about 10 seconds it's sort of done its calibration, but it's still pretty shonky. I mean, it's shonky anyway, but it's very shonky in the first sort of 5 minutes. So, and I'd say that for anything analog, give it just give it time to warm up. Right. So I think we're going to record the Volca Keys first, and I'll just show you how I do that. I say this is working for me. It doesn't necessarily need to be the way that you work. That was completely deliberate. I'll just show you my signal path from the Volca Keys. It's a bit complicated, but this has been working well for me and just kind of discovered through accident. So the audio out, obviously I'm controlling it over MIDI, and just sending some MIDI from my DAW from Reaper into the MIDI. It's on channel 6. Happy days, easy peasy. I'm sending the audio out to, I'm just going to transfer over to the little camera, to the SBG from ALM. And what that is, this is this white cable here. So what that is that it's basically a pedal interface. So that's going down here into these old Danelectro pedals, cheap and cheerful, good sounding. Then it's coming back, this red cable, back to the SBG, and then into my London drive that I did build with my own fair hands. So that's a kit from Thunk. And then from there it goes to the 2HP domain. So I've got grain, delay and verb. So I've got weird grain effects if I want those. I've got delay if I want that, and I've got reverb if I want that. And so I may be breaking the rules, and I may be tracking it with reverb, with delay, because if I think, oh, that sounds cool, I'll just track that. Might not. I don't know. I've not entirely set up the patch yet. But yeah, and then from this bit of Euro rack stuff, just back to the board, back to the sound card. Let me just show you how the difference those 5 pedals sound with the Volca Keys. I really like it. I won't use a little camera, so I'll just tell you. So this is bypassed. Perfectly nice sounding sort of analog synth, but secret weapon, the surf and turf compressor. Really, and you might say, oh wow, that's a bit extreme, mate. I like that sound. I like the dirty grittiness of the sound, and that's the sound that you know, that I want to capture. So that's like $20 compressor. Brilliant, love it. Who doesn't like a little bit of phasing? It's a pepperoni phaser. It's great. It's great. Little bit of tuna melt tremolo. I love it. Love it. Milkshake chorus. It's great. It's great. And hash browns flanger. I don't know. I just think it's it makes what is quite a gnarly little analog synth just sound incredible. And obviously, we can put the compressor on, the flanger, and the the tremolo. Or we can do, chorus and phaser. I just think it's a great sound. Obviously, with the SBG module, we can dial in the amount of send, the amount of return. It's just a very cool setup. And obviously, we can then add in a little bit of reverb from 2HP. Just a sort of it sort of attenuates the volume a bit, but obviously we just punch in that compressor. Dial in some delay, although we do have delay on the unit, but we can dial in the 2HP delay. Even give it more distortion. Whoa. And obviously it's a very particular sound. It's a very gritty, gnarly sound. So obviously not for everyone. Let us choose the patch for, or design the patch for today's tracking. So I'm about to track the Volca Keys. Things that I've changed. So I've changed the LFO shape on the Volca Keys using the function, and it's these three buttons here. Saw, triangle, square are my choices. I've turned off motion sequencing just in case there's any weird motion sequencing programmed in. So that's a setup on the, and obviously I've set up the sound that I want. Which, yeah, we are hearing that. So setting up the envelope. Now, as we're tracking it, I will be subtly changing the pitch amount of the LFO to introduce a little bit of warble into the sound. I am using the Surf and Turf compressor. I am using a little bit of chorus, but I've just turned it down a little bit. No, we're not. We can see the London Drive is working as well. So we're driving the synth quite hard, and I've set up my grain effect just to be subtly on. I I've bypassed, well, we're going through the delay and reverb modules, but we're essentially, I've got the wet dry amount, or I will have in a minute, the wet dry amount all the way down. I'll put delay and reverb in post in this case, which sounds like this. So I'll remember delay and reverb in post. Let's track it. What else have I done? Obviously I've armed the mixer, so we're going to record something. Check the levels. I've set my audio track in Reaper to be stereo instead of mono, and it's armed, so I just need to press sort of go. I'll give it a bar rolling and we are good to go. Okay, so we've got a stem recorded now. Obviously with this approach is, as I say, I'm live manipulating the pitch envelope and also the grain effects. So it's more like a performance than really tracking. And obviously, I mean, I can go in and punch stuff in if I don't like it, but I've muted the original. So if I think that's too much of the grain effect, obviously I've just got to, you know, I can go in and just punch in a much cleaner version or even a bypass version. So that's like, you know, one of the disadvantages of this approach. The stem is the stem. I can put a little bit of delay in post. And I can put some reverb in post. Let's see how it sounds with guitar. Maybe, maybe not. Possibly still needs some work, possibly still needs some processing. Might record just a much drier version of that Volca sample. I just thought it'd be interesting to show you this. We'll call it a day and do a part 2 when we do in the Roland and the Neutron and the modular, because I feel like this possibly is getting a bit long. But yeah, as I say, not really teaching you anything. It's just this is an approach I've been using for this particular EP I'm working on. Just sort of share with you folks. That's the end of the video. Any questions, put them in the comments below. Cheers, bye 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 bye. Okay, I have just recorded another stem of the Volca Keys without the grain effect, which I think is working better with the delay in post. So let's just yeah, I think I prefer that. Now I've also, I mean, I've still got the original, so what I can now do obviously is in post I can then mix between the two flavors, or so that's the new, this is then the original. See, we could just even have that low in the mix. That could work. Or when I was sketching it out, we did have a ring modulator in. How crazy will this sound? Let's just the original. Wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. Don't hate it though. Low in the mix. Certainly gives it an interesting flavour with the guitar, and bear in mind the guitar's probably mixed too high because this is just, you know, we're still just sort of putting the track together. Interesting. Anyway, this obviously needs to meet. I need to sit here and do some production on this, but yeah, I just